Hello Internet, Mike Bertolini here, playing Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. So, going back to right where I was. Once more, darkness falls upon the city. You wake up, same as you have these past few nights, in a windowless room. As you pry open the reinforced steel door, you look out the window to see, invariably, a sky bereft of sunlight. And then it hits you. Hunger. For a moment, you let yourself wonder if there will ever come a night when it's just not there. Given what you've learned thus far, you probably have as much chance of kick-starting your heart with jumper cables. You lock the door behind you and head over to Sophie's apartment. You did promise to call on her. Might as well not keep the lady waiting. And, hey, what else are you gonna do? Call M? She's probably worried. At least she will be when she actually tries to give you a call, which might not happen for a few more weeks, months, if she's busy doing press for her new piece. You could try to track down your sire, if the sheriff hasn't done that already. After all, did he buy your painting? There has to be a money trail, right? But even so, what would you say to him? These thoughts put you in a weird mood. It's a strange sensation to walk the crowded streets, same as you have so many times before, but feeling so disconnected, all these people, you're not one of them. Not anymore. You're a vampire, Kindred, and you need to carve your own path in this strange new existence, one way or another. Appropriately enough, you arrive at Sophie's building just as that thought crosses your mind. A quick word to the security guard and you're let into the elevator. Apparently, Miss Langley is expecting you. Of course she is. You knock and wait patiently as the footsteps on the other side grow closer. Finally, the door opens and Gregory, Sophie's driver, invites you in. You find the lady herself standing by the window, silhouetted against the city's midnight glow. She stares out, motionless, like a marble statue. Good evening, Sophie. She doesn't react immediately, but seems to snap out of some meditative state and looks at you with strange, bleary eyes. Yes. Good evening, Em. I was wondering... When you look out at this city, when you see the lights, hear the hum, smell the rain on the pavement, what do you think about? You gaze out. You thought the city couldn't surprise you anymore. You've lived here all your life, after all, but tonight something feels different. You realize, in this moment, you have truly changed. Yes, you know what Sophie means. The way she gazed out that window and saw the truth beyond. You do the same. The view is fascinating. Each detail absorbing every angle, a new experience. The familiar made sublime. When you turn to Sophie again, she smiles at you knowingly. Ah, so you understand. I had my doubts, but perhaps we are of shared lineage after all. You see, the blood that flows within me is that of Clan Toreador. There are 13 such bloodlines among us, Kindred. The number has been contested in the past, and these nights, it seems that nothing is certain anymore. The clans have gone by many epithets over the years, but the names used these nights have their roots in medieval times. The original Inquisition, if you can believe it. They use these to categorize us, describe our inherent differences. In time, we adopted them ourselves. Each clan has a uniqueness about it, inescapable, originating from an ancient progenitor, carried from sire to child. For the Torier, the gift lies in a sensitivity of sorts. We are uniquely attuned to beauty and ugliness both. We can see either where most cannot. A blessing on most nights. Occasionally, A curse. The sheriff is of my clan as well, although you'd be hard-pressed to see him as such. Poor Kadir. It breaks my heart to see him in this state. Still, there's beauty into it as well. Nothing like a good fall from grace. Try she might to act playfully, you can tell she genuinely cares. She lets her gaze wander for a brief moment, but is quick to regain her composure. The other than true, known for their pride and their proclivities to rule over others, the prince represents that clan, as is quite common in our society around the globe. When the blue bloods think themselves rulers, the Bruja like to see themselves as preeminent revolutionaries. They call for universal rebellion while being slaves to their own temper. We don't discuss the rabble much, not anymore, and after they've largely broken off from the Camarilla. Think you were philosophers once, long ago. I hope to tell you more about some of the other bloodlines tonight. So, clans are like families? Clan members stick together or watch each other's backs, that sort of thing? Sophie is extremely amused by that remark and tactfully holds a hand to her mouth as she lets out a light, disbelieving chuckle. No, child. Each kindred's loyalty is up to them. Having the option, perhaps I'd be more inclined to side with the Toreador out of sheer instinct. But that is the extent of it. Clan loyalty is superseded by loyalty to Camarilla. But even within the sect, having allies of all stripes is preferable to having none at all. Which brings us to the reason I wanted to speak to you tonight. It is customary in our society, especially among younger kindred, to organize themselves into coteries. Sometimes these are called by the prince themselves or mandated by a fledgling sire. In our case, you may treat it as more of a strong recommendation. I want you to seek your companions, not only because you need to learn about our society, but also because it is useful. True friendships are rare among kindred, but having allies, even temporary ones, is something of a necessity these nights. We might be selfish creatures, but we are drawn to each other nonetheless. Any suggestions on where I should start looking? I was just about to get to that. She puts on a mysterious smile. I spent some of my precious time last night asking around, pondering potential kindred for you to meet. Came up with a short list of contacts. I hope you'll appreciate the gesture. Forging a partnership with them offers perspectives and viewpoints that I cannot provide, lenses through which to view our kind. They are all members of the Camarilla, of course, more or less. All right then, let's hear it. Who's on the list? Eager to learn about them? I see. Good. I'm glad. So let's start with the Tremere. They are a powerful clan, disliked by many, but feared and respected by many more. They have been an important pillar of the Camarilla since the very beginning. They are blood sorcerers. Blood sorcerers? You can swear you once saw them play at the Apollo. Probably not the same blood sorcerers, though. Sophie sniggers. Oh, child, don't be caught with that look on your face when you meet a warlock in person. You really are adept at using vitae, their own as well as others, to unique and potent effects. Since they are quite rigid in their hierarchy, the kindred I had in mind for you might need some persuading. His name is Agathon. From what I hear, he is quite a scholar, very ambitious. A child of a noted Tremere here in New York, Ailing Sturbridge. Spend enough time with Agathon, and I'm sure you'll run into her sooner or later. A scholar? So he's a bookworm? Doesn't sound too exciting. Well, to be fair, I do find the Tremere a bit tedious, but mostly because of how precise and rigorous they tend to be. For what it's worth, Agathon is said to be agreeable for a warlock. Anyway, if you wish to contact the young Tremere, I hear you can usually find him in a New Age bookstore out on Broadway. The Tremere have one of their workshops there. Gregory will give you the details. Now, this next recommendation comes with a bit of a caveat. As you recall me saying, most bloodlines have unique features that might not be obvious at first glance. Well, there is one clan whose members wear their curse on their sleeve. The Nosferatu. Wait, Nosferatu? As in the German expressionist classic? No way. No wonder they make their havens in sewers, abandoned buildings and such. Their appearance is hideous and obviously unnatural. Had they walked the streets like other kindred, the kind would have learned of our existence long ago. Did she just shudder? It's hard to tell with their usual complexion, but you can swear her skin suddenly took on an even more sickly color. The one I have in mind isn't as big an eyesore as the worst of them, but he is no Adonis either. Still, he has some talents and connections that you might find useful. His name is D'Angelo, and he has an office, for lack of a better term, in the otherwise abandoned grain terminal in Red Hook. Or next to one of those Swedish stores. The name escapes me, the one with the awful furniture. Swedish furniture? You mean IKEA? Yes, that's it. My mind struggles to retain things that are aesthetically displeasing. D'Angelo is odd jobs for deer, digging up dirt, locating kindred who would prefer to remain hidden, the kind of work the Nosferatu are best at. He's on a case right now, something to do with kind murders, I think. After your initial brush with our dear sheriff, I think it would be wise to show some good towards his agenda. Assisting D'Angelo with his investigation might be just the thing. She takes a brief pause to look out the window again. Now come the two more exotic proposals. Exotic? As if the blood mage and the vampire detective weren't business as usual? You may have heard about the Gangrel before. They're a wild clan, in touch with their beasts in a way others might not dare to attempt. They mostly keep out of big cities, but there are exceptions. Normally, they haven't been part of the Camarilla for over 2 decades, but the one kindred I would like you to meet has strong, shall we say, familial ties to the sect. Her name is Tamika. Her sire, Jezebel, was instrumental during the Battle of New York back in 1999, a very same battle that cemented the city as a Camarilla domain. Sadly, her achievements have gone largely unrecognized. Tamika and a number of her siblings still reside in the domain they were awarded after the battle, Prospect Park. Jezebel herself left the city some years ago, fed up with being underappreciated. I got the impression contacting vampires who aren't in the Camarilla was frowned upon, but you're saying these Gangrel aren't part of the sect anymore. How does that work? It's not as clear-cut. The Gangrel as a whole is sworn off the Camarilla, but individual kindred that are of that clan can still hold our ideals. Jezebel is one of them, before she became jaded. Besides, their domain in Prospect Park has been upheld by Prince Panhard for all these years, has it not? We consider them members of the sect, and they have, for the most part, kept to themselves. Perhaps we'll take a young kindred such as yourself to make them realize where their loyalties lie. So, you see, seeking out Tamika could prove quite educational, if nothing else. And who knows, perhaps you will find her temperament to be a welcome change of pace. But, speaking of a change of pace, I have one last suggestion for you, though I hope it's one I don't make lightly. The kindred who calls herself Hope. She's a Malkavian. They are a uniquely cursed clan. For centuries we considered them mad, insane, unhinged. But those of us who spend enough time with them come to understand the truth. It is no sickness, but a unique perspective on the world that has them appear to us as unstable. And that perception can prove to be very valuable. Having a Malkavian as your companion might be taxing on the nerves and a true test of patience at times, but their insight and intuition are unrivaled among Kindred. As for Hope, specifically, she's said to be a recluse, but I have it on good authority that she can currently be found in an internet cafe, I believe it's called, in Lower Manhattan. Gregory has the address. An internet cafe? Really? How quaint. I really wouldn't know. But since you brought it up, be aware that Camarilla is highly critical of using the internet to communicate. The Second Inquisition made sure of that. Exercise caution in Apple Haven. Well, I believe that's all of them. I still have a few social calls to make tonight, so I'll leave you to it. Use tonight and tomorrow night to arrange some cordial visits of your own. I will send Gregory for you as soon as I have further need of your services. Oh, that reminds me. You will need a car. Join us downstairs, won't you? She smiles once more and turns to her driver. He helps her put on her coat, and the three of you leave Sophie's apartment. Sophie points to one of the cars in the building as Gregory hands you the keys. It's a rather inconspicuous compact car, a decent looking, if not luxurious ride. Stay safe, Em. This is your first night alone. Don't let it be your last. As you drive away, you find yourself with more freedom than you've heard for the past few nights. A blessing or a burden? Time will tell. With a list of addresses in hand, you consider your next move. Okay. Well, who do I want to go for first? Okay, I think she's also going to be the hardest one to convince. So, yes. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the places you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air, as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of Kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's source fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give it up just yet. Take a deep breath. Your nostrils fill with the scent of dead leaves and something else. A faint whiff of copper, too subtle for a human to notice, but your newfound Kindred intuition tells you that you're in the right spot. Yeah, these are Tamika's hunting grounds, all right. It's more than a hunch. You can feel it in your veins. Now it's only a matter of finding her. Unless, of course, she finds you first. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees. Quickly but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain. But then again, perhaps you can kill two birds with one stone. Now I can either feed. I don't want to feed. The world opens up around you like a blood-scented flower. A myriad of smells and sounds pound your senses like a battering ram. You focus, trying to drown out the noise and isolate any trace of your quarry. And there it is. A rustling of leaves no farther than 100 yards to the south. Too big for an animal, too quiet and meticulous for a human. You follow the sound, careful not to make a spectacle of yourself. Even at its heightened state, tracking one of the outcasts seems like a tricky matter. From what you can tell about them, the hunter is never more than a few steps from becoming the hunted. All of a sudden, the rustling stops. The world goes eerily silent. The time you know something wrong, it's already too late. Hunter, hunted. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as a 5-finger-shaped razor cuts through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct this mistake. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. It was pretty animalistic, you alright? But he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. He says he's about to lunge at you. A snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadows emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so silently. She walks over, calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him consider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of it, Tam. I smelled him first. Tam. How about that? She raises an eyebrow, but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, pretty boy. I'm gonna fuck you up so bad you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tamika looks at you, expectantly. Easy there, big shot. You made your point, okay? Confirmed badass. Not looking for a fight. Tamika tilts her head in a way that's barely noticeable, and yet strangely expressive. She seems disappointed. The man loosens up, his lips twisting into a wry smile. Clearly, you just gave him the confidence boost he needed. Figures, you got that look about you. All style, no substance. Didn't have to smell you. I know a sissy when I see one. Well, guess what? You ain't getting off that easy, chicken shit. A fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his ear, as if she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm, yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raoul. I'll handle it from here. The male Gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. Fine. You're not worth the effort anyway. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats into the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika returns to you once more. What do you want? Straight to the point, huh? I like that. You don't care what you like. I quit stalling. You have something to say. Say it. I come with an offer. I'm going to offer you my services, such as they are. I would hope for in return is a fruitful, long-lasting relationship. So you want to help me with something because you want to be my friend. That about right? Well, it sounded better the way I said it, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Uh-huh. She puts on a veneer of skepticism, but you can tell she's intrigued. That's very earnest of you. It's also kind of silly, but I think I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with is putting my ass on the line and getting stabbed in the back for my trouble. So why should exactly I trust anything you say? I don't expect you to. Not yet, anyway. Good. Because my trust is earned, not given. Let me earn it. A few nights of your time. That's all I ask. For a brief moment, she stands there, motionless, looking straight into your eyes as if trying to size you up. Finally, she looks away. It looks like she's come to a decision. Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, there's something about you, most kindred who are this pretty tend to hide rot underneath, but I don't smell it on you. So I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I'll send you business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here and we'll see what you're really made of. And with that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered. Ooh. Man, look at what time it is. Okay. So I'm going to end this little search here. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, if you like these kind of videos, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, like, share, comment, all those good things. Let YouTube know that you're watching these videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. The letter's been slipped under the door in a cream-colored, old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. The note is short and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John and Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. With no other information. It's like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night.